I want to welcome you to a special edition of the Power 30, where I have my college roommate, good friend, best friend, one of my good friends with me. You know, I went to A&T with him back in the day. He goes by Reggie, Reginald Taylor.
Yo.
Word.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening, this morning, wherever it is, whatever time it is, wherever you at. Good evening.
Yeah, so first question I wanted to ask Reggie is, who is Reggie?
And that's a great question. You know, I think not to get off the subject, but I think we all spend a lot of time, hopefully spend a lot of time trying to figure out who exactly, said individual is. For me, first and foremost, I am a follower of my God, my Jesus. I'm a Christian. I don't consider myself to fully be religious, but I do consider myself to be spiritual. I have conversations on a daily basis. I'm a father, a friend, son, brother, all of that good stuff. I'm a man, though, and I know that may come across in a funny way or whatever sometimes.
Yeah, that is good to know. You a man. You is a man.
You gotta put it out there. Let the people know. No questions. But no, what I mean by that is I demand my respect, but I also give my respect. There's a lot going on in society and in the world that we live in where people are completely disrespectful, and I believe that, not to blame it on one thing or another, but the internet has definitely helped perpetuate that. Because of the fact that people are able to sit or stand behind the screen and post whatever thoughts they have and not have to deal with the repercussions or be held accountable for them. So I say I'm a man because I own who I am. I own what I believe in, and I stand behind what I believe in. And I live for what I live for, and I'll, pass for whatever I'm willing to pass for. So I love my family, love my son. I'm not a single parent as far as the mother of my child is not there, but I am a single full-time father. My son lives with me, and all shout out and all praises to his mother. She's a great woman. Just little boys nowadays need their fathers in their lives to teach them how to be men. And then I'm an entrepreneur, man. I'm a worker. I'm a runner. I'm a marketer. I'm educated. I'm a man. I'm the man, baby.
You say you an amen. Amen. Praise to that.
Praise up,
So can you tell us, what was your experience at A&T, more specifically at HBCU, and what would you tell people about going to HBCU?
Great question, man. So, this is a topic I've discussed with a few of my other friends, and I have mixed feelings on it, man. I have mixed feelings. So, first and foremost, my experience I went to the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University out of Greensboro, North Carolina. A&T, what up, baby?
Can I get an Aggie Pride?
Aggie Pride! But my experience was lovely. I enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I appreciated the culture. It being at HBCU, I appreciated the teachers, the fact that they looked like me in most cases, the fact that they could hopefully understand where I was coming from and what I had been through. And not to say that wouldn't happen at a PWI, but just the fact that I had it was exciting. Also, the reason I went to A&T was because I had traveled to a number of different colleges around the North Carolina area, and I went on tours, but I also went without a tour, just kind of pop up and walk around campus. And A&T was I won't say the only one, but really made me feel at home and like I could be myself. Like everywhere else, I don't know, I just kind of felt out of place, or like I would have to find my place, man.
I mean, do you feel like A&T is a real life Wakanda?
No.
No?
No, I do not. I don't. I can't give it that much credit. No disrespect or anything, but no. I would imagine. That's why I say I have mixed feelings, though. Going back to that, that's why I say I have mixed feelings. Because while my experience was great, and I graduated with a pretty high GPA, cum laude. I slacked off a little bit, I will say that, but I still was able to make it through. What I feel is that the world is not historically black. The world is, excuse me. So we know that from our origins that the first man, woman comes from Africa, and I believe that to be black people. Plus, our genes can create any and everything, any and every race, any and every culture. So I believe the first people were black. But as far as this society, this world, the United States, it's not historically black, you know, as far as the way that people think and the way people maneuver. And we've been oppressed for ages, decades, centuries. So I do, to some extent, feel like the HBCU experience can create a sort of laziness, for lack of a better term, in people. And what I mean by that is it led me to believe, and this is just my experience, I'm not speaking for everyone else, speaking for myself, is that I became accustomed to communicating with my own kind, with African Americans. And I don't care what anybody says, the way you communicate with one race is not going to be the same exact way with every other race. Granted, there are some anomalies that happen, but the way I communicate with Edward Johnson is different from the way I communicate with, I don't know.
So you really wouldn't call it laziness, but you would call it not being able to assimilate to other races. But
yeah, you miss out on that. You know how to have that communication. Unless you get experiences. So like you and I, we were lucky enough and fortunate enough, not lucky, but fortunate enough and educated and developed enough to be able to maneuver through and have experience.
Yeah, I mean, because lazy means that you're not really hard working.
Right.
But man, I really think going to HBCU is a breeding ground to letting you really experience what it is to love your culture, love your race. Because I believe we as black folk, we're born in America to worship a white Jesus or a white God.
Right.
But I think all in all, you loving your race isn't being racist, or you loving who you are is not is not a form of laziness. It's not a form of saying that we can't assimilate to other people.
Right.
But I think HBCU really creates a love for African Americans, or a love for yourself. And I believe that the creation of PWIs was a form of HBCUs.
Yeah.
Was a form of when those colleges were created, they weren't created for black people.
Right.
They weren't created for Chinese people.
Right.
So other races were forced to assimilate to people in those colleges.
Right.
So I feel like the creation of HBCUs was not really a term of hey, we as black people, let's create HBCUs. It was forced upon upon us as a race.
Right.
So I feel like when you look at traditional PWI schools,
mm-hmm.
that they were, when they were created, they were another form of HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I have mixed emotions about it, but I think going to a HBCU can create a form of self-love that we never have in terms of going to corporate America.
But is that the case though? I mean, I feel like it's the family, the parents, the friends before. You should have that self-love, and not that it can't be created there, not that there's a problem by any stretch.
Yeah.
But it's not the college's job to educate you on self-love. It's the college's job to educate and prepare you for the world that you're going into, that business world, that engineering world, that creative development, or whatever that you need to move to the next level. So for me, while I appreciate and I agree with what you're saying, it definitely gave me a sense of black love and black excellence. Hashtag that, black excellence, people. And self-respect and self-appreciation, and just building my people up, whether it's my women or the men beside me. And instead of having that crabs in a bucket mentality, thinking about how can we all get ahead together? How can I lift this brother up next to me, regardless of what it do for me, but just because I need to lift this brother up because he a king like I'm a king,
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think HBCU really teaches someone that you don't have to always assimilate in life, or you don't have to always, feel like you're the minority, or feel like you're like a part of a big, even though we are part of a big
minority. We are.
Yeah, but we can be. I mean, that's a reality. But I think in terms of HBCU, just in general, like going to a bigger school might. They're not going to teach you about real black history. They're not going to teach you about.
Who does?
HBCUs.
What did they teach you about black? They taught me about A&T's history.
Yeah.
Which, and like I said, it's no offense to them. This is my opinion. This is where I stand. And I love my experience. How is it ever? All of this information now, I can go and research myself. And that's my job, to love myself and to learn what I need to learn. Like I said, for me, it was the college's job to prepare me for whatever I was going into. And I don't feel like I was fully prepared to be able to have those conversations with Caucasians, with the Chinese.
Yeah, but on the flip side of it, they need to be prepared to talk to you. Like, it's not our job as black people or as people in general to make other people feel comfortable having conversations.
Like, we got to get that money, right? And who has it?
Well, exactly, but we don't get that money by feeling like we need to assimilate to other people. Like, we need to build something in terms of like having we're not inferior to anyone.
Yeah.
So I feel like in terms of like going to HBCU, I feel like the real solution is like having a sense of we don't need to create a book or education system where we need to feel like we're going to get a job to assimilate to no corporation or no demand.
Right.
Like we don't need to get a job by the man. We are the man.
Yeah.
So in terms of like educating the younger generation,
you feel they taught you that?
I feel like going to HBCU I think they like the way that culture is created. I feel like you get that more than by going to PWI, because I feel like some younger people that go to PWI feel like they need to still assimilate in terms of being a minority. Like it's like I think in terms of building a business, like the reason so many other businesses are built is because like they have a sense of self. Like I think Childish Gambino said it correctly in terms of like a white culture or other cultures don't need to fake being who they are. Like they know who they are as a culture.
Yeah.
Or they don't need to feel like they need to be something different than they are.
Right.
They just who they are.
Right.
In terms of we as or just people in general, like going to HBCU should teach you that in terms of
who you are.
Yeah, you don't need to assimilate to no one. Like you are.
Well, you keep saying assimilate. I want to make sure. I'm not saying we should have to fall into any type of a form of assimilation by any stretch.
So what are you saying?
But what I'm saying is that I still don't feel that I was prepared to be able to communicate effectively with other races. Not that I have to assimilate, but because I learned how to communicate with my people, which is great and amazing, So, but it's just not the reality of the world. It's not the reality.
Yeah, man, that's a real debatable topic.
I mean, it is.
It is.
But I had a great experience. I enjoyed myself,
So going off that, like, what would you tell your 18-year-old self that you learned now?
I can say whatever, right?
Say fuck, shit, whatever.
Don't fucking go to college right now. I would, if I go back, man, I wouldn't go at the time I did. I mean, at 18, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Hell, I still don't really fully know what I want to do with my life.
Is it that you don't know or that it scares you?
No, it doesn't scare me. There's not really too much that scares me, honestly. I don't know. I feel like I've been in so many situations where it was like almost time for me to go. And
word.
Yeah, serious. So as far as now, it's just like I'm just gonna live. And fuck what anybody, think about it. If you love it, perfect, ride with me. If you don't, then, you can tune me out. You can turn the volume down and move on or close out, close the window. But, as far as it go, I would tell myself to not go at that time, just go out into the world and kind of experience the world, get some understanding about what you want to do. Because again, like I said, for me, while the experience was fun, I went to college with this mentality of, I'm going to do whatever, I'm going to get a great job, and I'm going to live a great life. But I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that looked like on the other side. And no one could really tell me. I didn't have a mentor or anything who had been down that road. Like, I had my mom, and I had other people around me, but nobody really who was like, yo, you need to think about what you want to do, and this is how you understand it or whatever. So if I could go back and tell myself that, that's definitely one thing about college, I would say, stop. Don't go yet. Take some time to kind of figure out what you want to do with yourself and what you like, what you don't like, and then go and really dedicate yourself to the education.
I mean, so speaking on what you don't like or what you do like, what motivates you the most?
My son.
Word.
My son is definitely a motivational factor. So, not to downplay it or anything, but kind of stereotypically, I guess, I grew up without my dad around, which fucking sucks. So, but it is what it is, you know. It's the reality.
Bro, me too.
Yeah, man. You know, it's becoming a repetitive thing. So it kind of sucks. We got to change that narrative. But I knew from a young age that whenever I did have children, I was gonna be there. I didn't care what it was. I didn't care how old, how young I was. I didn't care about none of that. How much money I made. I'm gonna be there, and it ain't no question about if I will or if I won't. It's a question of how long will the good Lord up above allow me to be there. That's all it was. So my son is definitely a motivational factor. I just want to see him go be great. You know, let me throw that hashtag GBG. Had to throw that in there. But yeah, I just want to see him go do great things and be better than, you know, the bar that I set for him. Not try to be me, but try to exceed. And I'm sure he will. But that's definitely motivation. The other thing that's motivation, man, is the fact that I have every opportunity at my fingertips. You know, the world has become so small now because of the invention, of internet, if that is considered an invention. But you know, because of the internet, the world is so small now that you can connect with people across the world over. You know, you don't really need to go be there. You can just do it. So,
I mean, and talking about being there. So, you know, you describe what Reggie means to you, but what does go be great mean to you?
Oh, great question. So I actually was speaking on that earlier, right? So I've heard, I had a conversation with a dude earlier, but I've also heard this a number of times throughout life. And I believe when I was younger, I probably said it once or twice, but just to put that out there. But I hear people a lot say, oh, they won't let me do this. They won't let me do this. They won't allow me to do this. And in my mentality, right, there's no one, no person, no entity or being on this earth, except the good Lord up above, who is going to allow me to do anything or stop me from doing anything. Like, you don't have to let me. You're not going to let me. But you ain't gonna stop me neither. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't stop me. If I put my mind to it, I'm gonna go do it. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's dope.
I'm the only person who can stop me. That's the only thing. You know, if something happened to my son, obviously I'm gonna switch paths and go make sure you're all right. But as far as go be great, it's just to me what I want to.
So is it a brand? You have like a hashtag on Instagram, Facebook?
Well, you know, I have the hashtag GBG. You know, and I swear I've seen it out there before. So. You know, honest.
It's not no Milli Vanilli. I think that was
I don't know what
Ice Baby.
I just want to make sure people know that this has been a GBG before. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. It's not like gang bang gang or nothing like that or no mess. Not that it, you know, you do what you do, but yeah, as far as mine is, go be great. I always post it on my Instagram. It's regime_GBG. That's RHEGIUM_GBG. But like I said, with the mentality of go be great, it's just that greatness is what you make it, is what you believe it is, and it's what you're willing to put in to go do it. Like, you know, not to plug you, but like you, for instance, man, you know, we may not have had the best upbringing, but you started your own business. You know, you putting in work right here doing the podcast, and I commend you and I appreciate that. And I love to see people just do things that please their heart and allow them to be greatness. So greatness is what you define it as. Just GBG, go be great, man.
I mean, and expand on that, like what is success to you?
Success to me is, you know, and I hate to keep going back to my son, but really just seeing him, you know, safe and well afforded, have a well afforded life, you know, and that doesn't mean financially all the way, but that just means not having to worry about, you know, where his next meal is coming from, where he's gonna get these shoes from, if he can go on this trip. Success to me means financial stability. I don't have to be ridiculously rich or anything along those lines. I just want to be wealthy, take care of my responsibilities. You know, success also means, and this is me, not working for anyone else. I don't want to work for anyone. I'll work with you. We can contract together. But I don't want to work for you. You know, that's not the case. It's not what I'm about. And success, other than that, just means being secure, you know, and being sane. Secure and safely sane. You know.
Yeah, that is good to be sane.
Amen. Yeah.
So, I mean, speaking on like the NFL protests, I wanted to really talk about like, why do you feel that not only the commissioner, but some part of America has a problem with it.
Roger fucking Dale, man. So, it was a point in time where I wanted to be the NFL commissioner, man. Where it was right before Paul Tagliabue went out, and they voted Roger Goodell in. But man, let me get back to the question. So I haven't been reading up as I've been away on training, and I know this recently occurred. But give me the brief synopsis of what's going on with because I know about the protest from last year, but I don't know if there's anything new that occurred.
I mean, basically the gist of it is that the NFL created a new rule where if you want to protest, you either can't come out on the field before the game, or if you do make a knee, they're going to fine the team like a yardage, or they're going to fine the actual team before they come on the field. Like they're going to get fined,
really?
Or it's going to be yards taken away like for the team.
Bullshit.
And that's the new rule.
Bullshit.
It's been taken into place by yesterday by Mr. Goodell.
It's bullshit.
Why is it bullshit?
So it's utterly bullshit. We all live in this country, regardless if they're entertainers or not. They have a right to speak up on what they believe in and what they don't. And I'm not saying go and be ridiculously overt in your protests or anything. But all of these have been peaceful protests, and now you're trying to penalize these people for that, and you don't want to display it. You want them to stay.
Well, they say they're hating America.
Hating America.
Yeah.
America's hated us for ages. What are you talking about? Like, what is he talking about? America is hated. I mean,
okay. Well, they're hating the troops.
Okay, hating the troops. There's troops who support what? And man, I just think it's utterly and ridiculously stupid. And I don't call a lot of shit stupid, but this is stupid. For me, man, I just think you have a right, regardless of where you are or what you do for a living, how much money you make or whatever, you have a right to express who you are and what you feel. And no one has a right to put you behind closed doors because you disagree with them or whatever, regardless of how it make you feel. It's like if you and me work in, I don't know, BB&T or Bank of America or something like that, and every day everybody got up to sing the Star Spangled Banner or put their hand over their shoulder, and I didn't get up. Well, Reggie, you got to go in the bathroom during this time because we don't want everybody seeing. You're not going to do that. I'm going to sue.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to sue. But now you're telling me because these people are considered entertainers or whatever, or because they're sports individuals, that their rights can be taken away. Like they have a right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. It's not hurting
so we thought.
Yeah, exactly. They're proving us wrong, right?
Yeah.
But look at the government or the presidential system we're up under right now, and what he said about these people, or these individuals, and these gentlemen last year. So,
Kanye West said they have a choice. They have a choice if they want to play football or not.
God, Jesus. You know what, man? I don't typically. So opinions. I don't really get too much into opinions, right? People's opinions are their opinions. It's like an asshole. Everybody has one, so you're entitled to your opinion. However, again, I don't call a lot of shit stupid, but that shit muddled the line right there. That's pretty. Slavery was a choice. 400 years.
Exactly, bro. He said it was a choice, man. Like he said when we came over here, we like, yes, master, we want A, B, C.
Go ahead, slap us up.
Slap us up, man.
Man. I was appalled by that. I was definitely hurt by that. But you know what? And this is what I'm gonna say on it. I don't know Kanye West by any stretch, so I want to keep his name out of my mouth as much as possible because I don't know that man. I don't know what he goes through or what he was thinking or whatever may have you. You are all entitled to your opinion. There's freedom of speech. That doesn't mean that you have the freedom not to think. Freedom of speech does not mean don't think. Do your research first. Understand exactly what you're putting out, because not only are you influencing the people who follow you or who subscribe to you, who love you, you're influencing the people who don't. So whatever you say, especially at a level like that, like he is, you reach so many people. You reach so many children. Who, like my son, for example. My son loves to be on YouTube, and granted, he doesn't really watch artists or anything. He's watching more games or whatever may have you. But my son could be one of those kids who's on YouTube and who follows Kanye West religiously and heard that and thinks, oh yeah, that's my reality. You know what I mean? My reality is slavery wasn't something as bad as they make it out to be. It was a choice, So now you're influencing. And
so do you think kind of like Kanye maybe lost reality? He lost a sense of reality?
I have no idea, man.
And like maybe being with living with the Kardashians, like on that show.
Yeah. man,
maybe it's a similar case with the Get Out movie. Maybe he was sitting in the chair, and then he one night he was like, these guys were it was a choice. Like, I'm not black. I'm a Kardashian. I'm a Kardashian.
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Yeah, I'm OJ.
Hey man, I don't know anything about that. I have nothing to do with that. What I do know is that you have to hold yourself accountable and know you are held accountable for what you say. You have to think about it. Like.
I mean, speaking on accountability,
yeah.
What do you feel like in terms of like being a black male in America and the whole cop situation? Do you feel like it's a win-lose situation, or like I feel like it's a microcosm of saying that all cops aren't bad cops, and all black males are thugs.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we find the middle ground in saying that we need to just become a better country, become a better society?
Man, if I had to answer that, I'd be worth so much more than I am right now, man. If I had to answer, but man, it's appalling, and honestly, not only is it frustrating, it's disheartening, to be here, to feel like you can prosper in this, because I have a son. I have a African American male son. I'm an African American male son to someone else. And there are people around me who are the same. You know what I mean? Not the same exact person, but in the same boat. And to ride around with fear that the people who were enlisted to serve first and protect. I'm gonna pause right there for a second. Serve and protect. S and P, right? P comes before S. We all know that in the alphabet. So usually when you write something out, you write it in a manner where it's alphabetically correct. There's a reason it was written serve and protect. To serve you first. They are enlisted to serve us first and then protect us. So what do you need? Now let me watch out for you, right? When you have the people who are enlisted to provide you with this service and this protection, taking away rights for no reason, removing your rights, and then not being held accountable for it, to me, it expresses exactly the same thought process that slavery did. It's the exact same thought process. It's like we couldn't keep you or hold you down for much longer in this, and you seem to be maneuvering forward too well or too successfully. Let's find another way to oppress you and lock you back down.
Yeah, bro, and I kind of feel like the invention of the cell phone is the America's nasty mirror, and it shows what many Americans never saw over 100 or 200 years.
Yeah,
and it really highlights the ugly side of America. Ooh. and it shows that many people were living in a box,
right? And
now that box was open to the cell phone might be America's Pandora's box,
right?
And it really just shows that all races aren't equal.
Yeah.
All cultures aren't living the same life, and some people never really saw that until World Stars invented, or until Facebook. Facebook Live is really an eye-opening eye to how people live every day.
This is true. You know what baffles me though still to this day is that people can have that box completely open for them, can have these images and these videos, these realities expressed vividly on their TV screen, and still choose to deny the truth
or ignore it.
Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. It's stupidity. I don't understand it, man. And it's frustrating because I posted this the other day. I said it to someone in response to someone else's post. You can educate stupid. You can educate stupidity, but you cannot argue with ignorance. People who are ignorant, they don't want to hear what you have to say. They won't appreciate what you have to say. They are stuck in their own minor or minuscule reality of whatever it is, and that's like I don't want to disrespect anybody. It is what it is.
I mean, but as a flip side, how do we as a culture as a black culture, look within and change,
That's
who we are. I mean, we can always blame,
changing.
blame cops, blame, America, blame the man. But I had a teacher when we were at NAT.
Yeah.
And one thing that she said I still remember today is that a lot of times we look at who is really affecting us, or who is the man that is affecting our lives. And she was like, a lot of times the man is looking at us in the mirror,
right. But is that about that? That's not about us. I mean, what we've seen in these police brutality videos and things, that's not about us doing something per se, because there are ways to handle it, right? There are other ways. All right. So my thought process is this: you are gifted this gun to protect, to serve and protect, right? You're gifted this gun, but you're also gifted with a taser. If I am really that much of a threat and you are here to preserve life, why not tase me? I shit on myself, I piss on myself or whatever, but I'll be able to go home to my family if nothing.
Yeah, wrong. I mean, but there's a video that came out yesterday with an NBA player where he was tased, but he was just tased for parking in a handicap space.
But but he's still alive, right? Or did he die?
Yeah, no, but going deeper on that, like, I mean, it was unnecessary. Like, you don't tase someone for parking in the wrong
and I agree
handicap space.
But what I'm saying is, like, for Philando Castile, you have or Mike Brown or something like that. If the situation is really as bad as you say it is, preserve life, but also de-escalate the situation. If you can't de-escalate it with your voice, tase. Why do you escalate directly to shooting? And then on the flip side, on the back side of that, why are these judges and lawmakers not doing something more to say? But like you said, I mean, as far as our people,
yeah, man, that's a heavy topic. But I mean, going deeper than that, or going to us just as a culture,
right.
Like, how do we as African Americans really change ourselves, or really build our culture from within? Like there's not I wouldn't say in terms of like not working with other cultures, but how do we take accountability for ourselves and building our own businesses or building our own wealth?
Well, I think it's just a thought process shift. Not that we necessarily need to change, but we just need to appreciate each other a little bit more. How do we do that? I don't know exactly, but what I'll say is, and I've had this conversation before with other people, is if you think about like Chinatown, like if you look at Chinatown in and of itself, Chinatown is a place where there is a myriad of items that are from Chinese culture, at least from what I know. You have Chinatown, you have Little Korea, you have all of these different areas where cultures are appreciated and they are there.
See, and that goes back to our conversation about HBCUs, like that they're like, that's why they're appreciated.
Yeah. All right, so you're trying to bring that back. Well, I'm gonna go back to it then with this. Those places are built so you can go and be whoever you are within your culture, right?
Exactly.
What is an HBCU? A historically black college, right?
Exactly.
The college is dedicated to educating you and preparing you for life, not dedicated to educating you for how to be yourself. That's your parents' job or your own job. So going to a black college should help me understand black, but also be prepared for the world. That's just what I feel is missing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the mission. That can be the mission of not only HBCUs but like our culture in general.
Right.
Like we should prepare. Like education just doesn't.
It's not there. Right.
No, but I feel like education doesn't stop at a book.
Right.
Like when you go to a college, it's just not about being book smart.
Yeah.
It's about educating you as a man and as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So like going all around that is like going to school isn't just about learning about the square root of 2 or learn about what goes on in an engineering class. It's about preparing you to from going to high school about for the world. Exactly. So I feel like the HBCU can really expand your mind in terms of like, this is who I am as a foundation, and I'm gonna go out to the world and be that.
All right, and like I said, I'll give you that. It gave me I'm gonna get back to my Chinatown Little Korea, but I'm gonna give you that because I agree that that's a part of it. But I believe the priority is the education and preparation for the world, and I don't feel like there's always that there. Like I don't feel like we was given. I don't feel like I was given. Somebody else may say something different. I don't feel like I was fully given. Yeah. the ability to communicate with all other races fully. You know, I don't feel like I was prepared for that. I don't feel like I got, you know, the teaching to do that. Like you said, if it's about educating me for the world, I don't feel like I got that teaching to say, hey, you know, when you go into business here or in China or in Wakanda, where this is how you speak to people, this is how you maneuver. You know, I don't feel like I got that. So that's just what I'm saying is missing this opportunity. But going back to it, I feel as far as our culture, our community, our people, we have to build within ourselves. We have to appreciate within ourselves. We have to, you know, just understand, like you said, that self-love and maneuver forward with that. Instead of constantly trying to spend our money elsewhere, trying to devote our time elsewhere. Like, if I think about people who look for a lawyer, you know, prominent people who look for lawyers, and I don't know this whole story, so I'm not gonna call anybody names or anything along those lines, but why is it that you always hear about Jewish lawyers being the best, and that's who we go to? Like, I believe in supporting my people first, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna come here and do this with you. And not that I have anything against any other race, because I love all people for who they are, but I just have a self-love for black excellence, and I'm going to help myself and build my people up. That's why anytime I meet some...
So again, Aggie pride.
There you go, throw it up. But yeah, that's why when I meet, you know, anyone out on the street, you know, black male or black female, I address them as, how you doing, king? How you doing, queen? You know, and it's not to hit on the woman or to do, you know, whatever for the man either. It's just to show that self-love. Hey, I love you because you mine, you me. You know what I'm saying? We are we. Let's appreciate each other, you know? So that's what it is for me. And I think we have to just develop our own communities and kind of be there. Not to segregate again or anything, but we have to have these places where we can go to feel safe and educate our kids and just really police ourselves and hold each other accountable.
So for the last part of the interview, I want to try a little word association.
Talk to me.
So, the Bible.
Love, education, opportunity, and good God.
Would you rather go to a club or a bar?
Bar, man. I think clubs sometimes are a little too loud for me. I like to have good conversation.
Word, you want to get twerked on?
I mean, private. I like private parties.
Private twerks.
I like private days.
I feel you. Basketball or football?
Football, hands down.
Why?
Love football. Not anything against basketball. I watch it if it's on, but football has always been a love of mine. The contact sport, the strategy that goes behind it, and I know there's strategy in basketball, so I ain't taking nothing away. But you know, I just always played football, like the contact. It's all good.
First thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Thank you, Lord. I kiss my Bible, make up my bed, brush my teeth, wash my face.
Word.
Word up.
Hot or cold?
Hot. Yeah.
Like Nelly?
Who the hell did you talk about?
Nelly, hot in, you talking about hot in here or hot?
Are you talking about like hot outside? Like, are you talking about heat outside versus cool outside? I'm taking hot. If you talking about at night, like hot or cold, I'd rather be cold, because you can always put on more, but you can only take off so much. And I sleep naked, so it is, you know.
Going to naked.
Yeah.
Favorite position?
Oh man, I don't know the name of it, but it's like the sideways T. It's like the lady on the bed on her back, me standing up and the legs up against the chest. You know, I like that.
That'd be like an L/T.
There you go, an L with another I up under it or something like that.
So the M position.
Whatever. Yeah, you know that. Yeah. I just like, I find pleasure in pleasing my lady or the lady that I'm intimate with. So you know, whatever position she want to go to, we can do that.
I feel you.
Yeah, I think I got enough time.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza. Word up, pizza. Get a nice Supreme, man. Nice Supreme. Some red wine, sweet red, man. Get you a cigar afterwards. Boom. Love right there. That's love.
Drink or smoke?
Drink. Definitely say drink. I don't drink liquor. I don't drink liquor. I have like I said, a red wine, sweet red or Moscato. I have a beer, you know. Hookah, cigar, maybe. You know.
True.
Rather get his relaxed on.
So, favorite quote you like to live by?
Go be great. Go be great.
True.
Go be great. That's it. No, I mean, I have a number, man, but definitely go be great is at the top of my list. Just because, it's I know I probably wasn't the first to say it, but it's mine now. You know, I got it right now. So it's mine right now. And in addition to that, it just means so much to me internally and as a black male in this society and as an entrepreneur, as a father, as a friend. So yeah, go be great is definitely my favorite quote right now.
That's what up. Favorite book you read?
Favorite book. That's a tough one. The 5 love languages would probably be top, because it talks about relationships, and I think growing up, not only myself but a lot of people around me from where I'm from didn't get to have those conversations or really understand a lot about what love is and how to effectively communicate with their significant other or with the people around them, because love is not just in a relationship. Love is also, for your friends or people you meet. So the 5 love languages definitely helped me to communicate better as a man, as a father, as a significant other, and as a human being.
So is there one last words or piece of advice you want to leave us with?
Yeah, definitely. For the people, I go back to it again. There's no one person out there who can stop you from being whatever it is you want to be. And I know people say, oh, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I don't think anybody ever has taken the time to really sit down and explain it. When I say it to my son and the people around me, I mean that you have the entire world at your fingertips. You have Google, you have YouTube. You can learn whatever you want to learn. It may not always be correct. So definitely double, triple, and quadruple check that shit. But you can find whatever information you want to find, and you can express yourself whatever way you like, maneuver forward. And the world is your oyster. Go be great in it. Just put your mind to something and go do it. Don't take no for an answer from anybody, until it's time to move on or whatever. But yeah, don't take no from anybody. You are your greatest competition, and you can be your worst critic. What's amazing to me is that we can talk ourselves out of being great before someone else can. Like, you'll have an idea and you'll say, oh, I don't know if I want to hear that shit, when it was somebody out there who needed to hear that shit. Somebody out there who needed to feel that, to feel appreciated, who needed that before they did whatever they did to themselves. So for me now, it's just like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I ain't gonna do nothing malicious. I'm not gonna maneuver in the mentality of trying to take somebody's life or remove them from their greatness. But I'm going to do what I feel I need to do to be great, and I suggest you all do the same, man. And if you need motivation or inspiration or whatever, I'm telling you, I got you. Regime, RHEGIUM_GBG. Follow me.
So again, man, this has been another episode of the Power 30 Podcast. Where our motto,
I'm gonna get one more. Aggie Pay.
So our motto is sort of like what Reggie said, but true greatness is really achieved by serving others. Like, you can't really achieve real greatness unless you serve other people or make this world better.
Right.
Again, thank you and have a great day.